Hi, everyone. I'm Gina Doyle. I'm the product designer for the Runner Group, and I'm here with Darren. Darren, do you want to say hello?
Darren Eastman, product manager for Runner.
We're going to be talking about the 15.8 milestone kickoff today, and I'm going to start within the Runner fleet category, and I'll just share my screen. All right. So we have a few features that we're taking on this milestone within Runner Fleet. We do have a few bugs that we're going to be concentrating on, but I'll skip into some of the features that are super exciting based on some of the feedback that we've gotten. So we've heard a lot about customers wanting to see runner queues and kind of get an estimation of how long those runners will take to pick up a job. And so this milestone will start by providing an estimated wait time for all of your instance runners at the moment. So those that are shared runners and how long that they will take to pick up a job. Another feature we'll be working on is within the admin area, our navigation's a little bit behind speed. So even in a project, we have CI/CD as its own item, and same with groups now. So we'll be improving that consistency by moving runners into its own CI/CD group in the admin area, and we'll move any other items that belong there, like jobs, so that it's more consistent for you to go between different views. This will also help us scale for new things that we may want to add to runners in the future, like our fun monitoring and automated types of features that we'll be adding in many, many milestones from now. And then for one other one for the back end crew, we're working on prepping the project's runners page to be able to kind of redesign it to work better for developers. So one of the things that we have to do there is edit the API so that we are able to do that. So you won't see much difference in the UI there yet, but we want to do this so that we can concentrate more on that area, since we haven't done that much, because we've been concentrating on admin and group areas for runners so far. On the UX side of things, I just want to say thank you to everyone, if you're watching, for providing us so much feedback in our feedback issue. We got a ton of comments there, so I want to take some time to review that feedback and kind of be able to sort it out, make sure that we have issues that will cover it, and match it up with some of the SUS results that we got from our last quarters around runners. And this will really help us move forward and validate the features that we'll be creating in the future. And then before I pass it off to Darren, we did separate officially our two groups within Runner. Now we have the Runner Group and we have Runner SaaS as its own group. And so going forward, we will be talking about Runner Fleet and Runner Core, which is in the Runner Group. But Darren, for right now, is still going to be covering Runner SaaS. So I will pass it off to him to talk about Runner Core and Runner SaaS.
Okay, thanks, Gina. I think I can keep all that straight. So I'm just going to share my screen really fast. For Runner SaaS, we don't have anything in this planning issue, because as Gina was pointing out, this planning issue is specific for the Runner Group, and the Runner Group owns the Runner Core category and the Runner Fleet category. A quick word in terms of what the Runner SaaS team is up to. They're doing a couple of really interesting things right now. They're working on some of the foundational work, which I will talk about here, that the Runner Core team will be picking up, some of the foundational work for our next Runner auto scaling architecture. And then they're also working on implementing that foundational work as proof of concepts on AWS as part of our move to deploy or get the AWS solution set out to the marketplace. So you'll see more in the upcoming kickoff milestone videos in terms of what the Runner SaaS team is doing specific to next auto scaling architectures, and then also specific to new capabilities on GitLab.com, such as hosted Mac OS based runners and some other things as well that we're looking at. So more to come on that. In terms of what's happening in Runner Core, what we're focused on in Runner Core for 58 As in all of the previous milestones, we continue to heavily invest upfront in reducing the backlog of bugs in especially our priority slash our P2/S2 bugs that's currently in the Runner core backlog. We have a new quad client process that's comprised of Gina Doyle, who is our designer, Elliot Brushno, engineering manager, Zeph Morgan, our QA team. The QA team, led now by Zeph Morgan, they're taking on responsibility of helping us organize, prioritizing, working through our bug backlog. So as you can see on the screen here, these are the current bugs that are on the deck or on plan, if you will, for 15.8. Some of these we had hoped to get to in 15.7. We plan aggressively, and because of the fact that we plan aggressively, we can't get to everything. So you can see that some of these bugs have now moved over to 15.8. So you can take a look at some of the bugs here that we're planning to work through. In terms of new important feature sets to call out, 15.8, we are working on shipping the alpha version of what we're calling the AWS EC2 fleeting plugin. So I'll just go over to that. I'll just kind of briefly explain what this is. The EC2 fleeting plugin is one piece of the solution set for replacing the auto-scaling mechanism that's today based on Docker Machine. So I'm going to click over here. We've published our next Runner auto-scaling architecture here in our blueprint stock, so you can take a quick look at what the new architecture will look like. All the details are here. The TLDR is basically this. The next Runner auto-scaling architecture will allow you to auto-scale GitLab Runner on public cloud services like Google, AWS, Azure, but using or leveraging native capabilities and native auto-scaling groups on those cloud providers. And so what you'll see in, going back to this one, what you'll be able to start testing out, hopefully in 15.8, is being able to use the entire new auto-scaling solution on AWS EC2. So the fleeting plugin is the last piece of the equation. The fleeting plugin connects to GitLab Runner and is a thing that allows us to scale up the auto-scaling groups or the runner within the auto-scaling groups on AWS. So this is a very important piece on our in terms of our journey to migrate away from Docker Machine. So we're super excited about this because this is a really important milestone for us in terms of providing you a new auto-scaling solution for GitLab Runner, specifically on cloud-based virtual machine instances. So that's it. That's the really big thing that we're working on in terms of Runner core for 15.8. So Gina, back to you for wrap up then.
Great. Thanks, Darren. Yep. If you have any feedback, feel free to reach out to us per usual. And we're excited for the features for this milestone.
Thanks a bunch, everyone. Cheers.